I'm still kicking myself for how I treated one of the most iconic Halloween specials of all time last year. This review, hopefully, will make up for my folly of relegating this beloved special to the honorable mentions list, only to realize it deserved a spot amongst my top 10 after everything was said and done. Simply put, it's apparent pretty immediately that It's a Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown is a full-on love letter to Halloween as a whole, as well as autumn in general.
Never jump into a pile of leaves with a wet sucker.
This special is the closest thing that we as people may ever come to creating pure crystallized nostalgia. Tradition has been breathed into every frame of this animation. The traditional Halloween aesthetic oozes from its very seams. This truly is a pure celebration of Halloween to its very core. The imagery alone should scream Halloween to anyone, and it was made in 1966. It is of course a comedy, and the humor is very adult and dry, and by adult as in, I mean, what kind of kid is going to understand that bit about the signed document?
I guess if you have a signed document in your possession, you can't go wrong. Peculiar thing about this document, it was never notarized.
So Linus believes in an entity he refers to as the Great Pumpkin, and I take that as him thinking of the spirit of Halloween. Though his beliefs are mainly based on Christmas and the thought that he thinks the Great Pumpkin flies around and gives toys to good kids and receives letters and judging children on how good they've been throughout the year, this is kind of where I start to feel some kind of theme.
When are you going to stop believing in something that isn't true? When you stop believing in that fellow with the red suit and the white beard who goes ho, ho, ho. We are obviously separated by denominational differences.
So we've set up Linus and Charlie Brown as both somewhat hypocritical in a way.
You're wasting your time. The Great Pumpkin is a fake.
Who are you? So the plot basically follows Linus mostly, as he hopes to see the Great Pumpkin by sitting in the pumpkin patch because of its sincerity. There's also the plot following Charlie Brown, Lucy, and the others going trick-or-treating. As well as Snoopy doing a pretty amazing LARP of being a World War I fighter pilot getting shot down behind enemy lines. This segment is pretty amazing in both its style and just the general feel it has going on. I absolutely admire Snoopy for celebrating the holiday how he feels is right for him, and really getting into his costume. Again, I feel like there's this theme going on about sincerity that will culminate soon. Sally initially ridicules Linus's beliefs, but she quickly forfeits her own beliefs just because she has a crush on him and is willing to stay in the pumpkin patch because of Linus, when it's clear she doesn't share his beliefs. She's being insincere. But it's not just Sally. Linus himself is being insincere. He's there to prove a point. If we're going to run with this idea of sincerity, then the reason the Great Pumpkin didn't show up is simply because they're both insincere. However, Snoopy has been spending this entire beautiful Halloween night just LARPing, celebrating the holiday how he believes he should, with no rhetoric nor irony, as sincere as possible. And in the end, he's the one that actually arises from the pumpkin patch. But this doesn't just go for the three in the pumpkin patch, it goes for the others as well. While Lucy may be a bully, throughout her Halloween, she's honest and forward about her feelings. She even collected a bit of candy so Linus would have some after Halloween was over, despite being embarrassed of him. Charlie Brown ended up with nothing but rocks after starting this special ridiculing Linus's beliefs, despite their similarity to things he believes in, displaying his hypocrisy. Maybe I'm seeing symbolism that isn't there, but it's fun to postulate like this.
Good grief! I said if. One little slip like that can cause the Great Pumpkin to pass you by.
Well, she's not that petty. She comes to those who celebrate and spread the joys of her holiday. The candy she wants to give you is the candies that others want to give you in celebration. And finally, one last thing going back to the sincerity thing. The last person to enter the pumpkin patch that night was Lucy. She didn't need to come get him. She didn't need to bring him to his bed. She didn't even need to cover him up. She did it because she sincerely cares about him, despite her abrasiveness. If she didn't care, she would have left him out in the cold. Linus may never see the Great Pumpkin, but gosh if he's not devoted. It'd be inspiring if he weren't so vehement. And that is the struggle of an impassioned devotee.